Hi, I'm Daniel Lusk. I'm going to read a couple of Midwestern poems, recollections, true stories. This is called When Horses Love, from my father. When horses love, it seems an immense thing passes. Obsession, war, conversion, coming of age, revolution or a prairie storm. Wind lashing crowns of oaks and maples, scarlet flags, virgin oats and rye threshed green in the fields, by hail like shards of glass, wild pounding of the haymow doors. And we might be afraid, but there is too much of wonder. It is heart-racing weather, roof beat and mutter of falling water, run off in the gutters, rain larruping the flailing branches, blowing in the open window, lifting the curtains, sweat wet on the page where I write. Thunderstorms were metaphors for wildness I knew our father felt, heartache and turmoil inside. He watched them come, great towering spinnakers of rampant thunderclouds, roiling, churning, billowing, a gathering madness above us over the pasture field. The two of us stood small, apart, awestruck, faces lifted to the expanding skies. Horses at a gallop, challenging the fences, manes and tails flying, teeth bared to neck and haunch and withers, rearing to paw the wind, screaming. Sometimes at night, he stood on the wide porch or at the open windows, unmoving. Lightning cleaved the dark, thunder rocked the house, while our mother roused us from our beds upstairs, hearts hammering, scrawny-legged in our underwear, into the dank safety of the coal bin in the washing cellar. He stared, transfixed, and smoke curled outward from his cigarette as from a lighted fuse. Sometimes a sound surrounded us, filling our chests to hurt and closed our throats, as if the thunder spoke, as if some voice within him or some other deeply resonating instrument returned the rumbling as human song. I learned never to ask what made him weep and sing, or why life seemed so ordinary otherwise. This is a Western South Dakota poem. It's a true story wrapped in folklore. It's called The Oat Bitch and the Old Man's Daughters. It's an old story, and I suffered it. How the patriarch fell and the tractor fell silent. How wind stirred among the crowd of oat sheaves left standing in the field, as if his spirit waited among them. How a stranger came in the guise of a preacher to lift unwittingly the last sheaf to the wagon, who bent his head to the load in prayer or resignation. How the sheaf goat, dressed as a child, lifted a pitchfork to stick it into the wagon load as the tractor leapt ahead. How the stranger, as in a ritual of harvest, came to be killed. I was that stranger. I bled to the Tyne's victorious singing, bled for the oat bitch's hunger. They laid me down by the howling thresher, torn half naked and shorn of disguise, cleansed and poulticed my body with unguents, so I no longer knew myself or how long I died, but awoke one day to silence and the curious balm conferred on my wounds by the old man's daughters. Thank you.